Hey everyone, it's Scott with NewPortraitBiz, and what I want to do today is I want to do a few things. I want to share with you a step-by-step process on how I'm creating these images like this right here. I wanted to point out some new blending tips and techniques to make your images really look polished, and I also wanted to show off some of our new unique props that we created. We have a whole brand new set, and this is one of them right here, and we have about 13 in all, but I wanted to show you how you can create images like this. Now, if you're not specializing or at least adding baby photography to your business, you really need to rethink that. All right, there is a huge market there for you, and when you put these on like a high key set like this, like people are still going crazy over high key. And if you haven't heard of high key, maybe you're new and you don't know what that means, it's basically this right here, very similar. It means that the background is usually a white background where it's almost blown out, all right, and then usually lighter tones. Now this has a darker subject in it, meaning the prop itself, which you could say that is low key, but it actually gives it some contrast. So there's some debate about what actually is high key. I usually go by the background and in the whole look of the picture in that sense. But in this case, these are easy to do because you can shoot your subject on a white background and then do the extraction. You don't have to be really perfect with your extraction because you're going against white again. All right, so what I want to do is show you exactly how I did this. And oh yeah, by the way, at the end of this video, stay tuned because I do have a special treat for you for people that are watching this video, and it's only going to be available to you because you're going to watch the video and you'll see what it is at the end. All right, so pay attention, but I promise you, you will pick up some new tricks and techniques here that I'm going to share with you. All right, so let's get started. This is the original image that we shot, and let me just point out basic lighting, okay? And let me show you that basic lighting right now. Super simple. All right, white background, okay, we have a softbox, we have a reflector, and that is it. All right, we basically shot it at f8, our shutter speed was an 80th, and our ISO was 200. Real basic stuff. We don't care that this background is not completely white. Actually, we don't want it to be completely white because we want to keep all of the detail in the edge, so this way it's easier to cut out. All right, and a lot of people try to get this to be a high key right off the bat, and then what happens is they get light that's pushing through your subject's outline, and it makes it hard because it makes that edge really soft, and it makes it harder to extract. All right, so a little tip for you, don't try to light the background. If you were going to do just high key and you wanted to light the background, then yeah, you're going to want to basically take a light and kick it onto the background so it's actually a little bit brighter. All right, but we're not going to do that in this case. So that's why I say it's super simple to do, and that's the diagram right there. All right, so let's move on. First thing I'm going to do is go over here to my extraction tool for this process. I'm going to use the magic wand tool. Now, in CS5 they did add, and I think it's in CS3 too, is the quick selection tool. This is really easy to use if you wanted to use this. It's not necessary for me in this. I usually use that if I'm going against a busy background, but you can just basically go in here and just start selecting like this, and it's going to fill in up to that outline. All right, and it's the same idea, it's just kind of in reverse. All right, I'm not going to use that technique in this, but you should play around with that technique because it is handy, especially if you're going against a busy background. All right, so let's just start over here. I'm going to use the magic wand tool. I'm going to set my tolerance. I'm going to start it at 20, and we're going to see what happens. All right, so I'm just going to click somewhere in here, and then you can see it didn't fill the entire area. So I'm going to hold down my shift key and click again. And then in here, I'm going to click again, and then you can see it's done a pretty good job. Now, the one thing I'm not going to worry about is this area over here because I'm probably going to get rid of that little hair that's popping out there anyway, but this side I am going to want to keep intact. But remember, we're going against white, so we don't have to be perfect. All right, that looks pretty close right there. That looks pretty good, and I'm not going to worry about this down here because we're going to use a certain prop that's going to cover that up. All right, but let me just point something out, and this is tip number 1 here we'll start with, all right, because I just received an email about this the other day. Someone was trying to put this like a white, when they were cutting out against a white background, they were trying to put this on a dark background, they were seeing a white edge, okay, almost like a little halo, and that's because it's doing this, all right? It's basically selecting up to where it starts to make that transition, all right? A simple fix to this is to just make this come all the way in on top of the material, all right, or the skin, all right, and I'm going to show you that real quick. Go to the select option here, go to modify and expand, and then you can expand it by however many pixels you want. I usually start with 2. Let's go ahead, and you can see it just brought itself in. Let me go back and then go in again. See that? All right. Now that's pretty cool right there because we went on that. Now what I need to do is, you can see this is kind of soft to begin with. We want to recreate that. We want that to be soft. All right. And I'm going to show you another trick in a minute too, how to make that soft after you make the extraction. But then just go to Select, Modify, and then Feather. All right. I'm going to start with 1 pixel, hit OK, and then I'm going to go ahead and go Layer, New, via Copy. Now look what happened over here. I'm glad that happened. I didn't inverse my image. All right. So that's a mistake. Let me go back, go to Select, Inverse, and then go Layer, New, via Copy. And then boom, we've got it. All right, so there's our cutout. Pretty good job so far. And it took me what? You know, a whole minute to do, if that, and I was talking through the whole thing. All right, so let me go back now. Now I have to pull up my actual prop that I'm going to use, and that's this one right here. We call this one the bird's nest. All right, so here I have a cover-up layer. Let me turn off the background layer right here. All right, and you can see I have a cover-up layer now, all right, which makes it real easy to use. So I'm just going to take this, all right, and I'm going to take the extraction and bring it into this background and prop set. Bring it into position. Now, if this was down below here, it wouldn't be working like that because you know, it wouldn't be on top. But we created it so the background layer is here, and the only place that you can put it, and I even put subject here, is on top. So you can see now we can move her around. I think I need to even size her up a little bit, so I'm going to hold the Shift key and just scale her a little bit. Click Apply, and that's looking pretty good right there. Bring her down a little bit. Now you can see this is popping out. No big deal. I'm going to go ahead to the eraser tool, which is super simple, right? Oop, let me go back. My opacity, I need to set that at 100, and let me just go ahead and erase that right there. Boom, we're done. Not really. I've got a couple more tips for you. But this right here, if you look, it's a pretty good job. Even this little stray hair right here, I could leave that if I wanted to. I don't think I want to, but I could. All I would have to do is just lighten it a little bit, and it should be fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually erase it. So I'm just going to go into my eraser tool, and all I'm doing is using my bracket keys to make this smaller or larger. All right, and I'm just going to go in here and erase this, and I'm going to really zoom in so this way here I can make sure that I get, you know, a good job here. And I've got my brush set to soft, so this way here it's you know, not going to be any harsh edges or anything like that. And just come in here and just clean it up the best that you can, like that, and right there. All right, good. So that looks pretty good. Now over here, this right here looks like, again, remember how I said you can see through to the background? Here's a little trick for you. You can either go in here now with the eraser tool, all right, because we're on white, and we can go ahead and drop the opacity down to like 40, let's say, and I'm going to bring my brush up so it's a little bit bigger, and I'm just going to lightly touch that so it kind of starts to almost fade that in, and you can see if I go back, okay? Or what you can do, you can go to your, let's see, burn tool or dodge tool right here. And let me bring that down. And we're on midtones. 50% is the exposure. And I can just go in here like that. Okay? Or, you know, that might be too much now. Now maybe I just want to take the eraser and I want to get rid of some of that hair that's kind of up in here because it's, you know, looking kind of messy. You can see right here. See? And it looks pretty good. It's blended. You know, nothing is really crisp on the edges if you ever look at a picture that was done in a studio or even outside, especially if you have a shallow depth of field. All right, and that's what I'm going to also show you real quickly is we can also soften this edge even though we already extracted it and make it blend even better. But the one thing I do want to do is I think this might be a little dark, so I'm just going to go back to my dodge tool. Another tip for you, go to your dodge tool, midtones, 50% is your exposure, and then just lightly go around here, just touching the edge. You see what I'm doing? It's not taking too much away. It's not cutting anything. It's just basically lightening that. Now, if I want to take this down, let's say 20%, I can go in here, and I can just brighten these areas just a little bit. Even maybe back here I want to lighten a little bit. See? In there. You know, I can do this in here. I can keep playing around with that, but that blends so much better. And one last tip I want to show you for blending is you want to go in here to this little thing here. Okay, this is the blur tool. You go to the blur tool, strength is at 50. Again, I'm on my subject. And what you want to do is just come in here and just lightly go around that. See how I just blurred that? that's blurring just that edge. As I go around this thing here, right, I'm blurring that edge, which is going to make it blend. Because if you ever study a picture, you can see that the edge is not sharp. You know, it's not tack sharp, and you don't want it to be, because the background and the edge start to become one. And this is what's going to make it blend. It's going to look more real by you doing this to the edges. And I do this on a lot of my images, especially on the back part of the arm, because that's the back part of the image technically. And you know, you might want to leave this crisp because, you know, the arm does have some shape to it. All right, but you get the idea. All right. And then to finalize this image, I'd go ahead and flatten it. And then from there, I'm going to do another little trick. And I've shown this before, is layer, duplicate layer. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is go to filter, blur, and I'm going to go to Gaussian blur. All right. And I'm going to go to like 12.5%. All right. And now you can do a couple things. You can go here to the layer styles and you can go to soft light. And then you can see we've just added like some tone to it. Right? Maybe a little too much, so then I'll just drop the opacity down, maybe like that. And look what we've done. We've added some warmth to it. We've given it some pop with just that one simple little trick. The other thing that you can do, let's go back here, and instead of doing all of that, maybe we want to keep that. See how it kind of looks almost like a mist onto the image? Well, then maybe what we want to do here is just lightly bring this down, okay, to give it kind of like a glow. And then from there, I might want to just erase the face area. Bring the opacity down a little ways just to make that sharp, and you can see now we've got like a little bit of a glow going on. All right, so you can keep going with this, and you can see all of that we've done here. Look at that was after, that's before, and again I can repeat that. I can flatten this down, and then from there I can go and create another duplicate layer of it, and then I can go and run my Gaussian blur again. And from there, I can go in now and do the soft light. And now I've got a softer image with that little bit of glow, a little bit of warmth. Again, I can tone this down by just bringing this down. Or if I want to keep that effect on there that heavy, I could go into my hue and saturation. Okay, which all I did for that is image adjustments and then hue and saturation. I just use the shortcut. And then just bring your saturation down. See? And then see what I've done now? Maybe you didn't want it as warm as that other one was. Look what we've done. I mean, that's a beautiful image that you could sell every day of the week. And look at how blended that is. Look at the edges. Look at how that all blends into the background. It looks like that was shot in that bird's nest in your studio on a white background with high key lighting. All right, so I just wanted to point this out to you. I wanted to show you some new tricks and tips, and you know, I usually get a really good response when I do these step-by-step type videos on how I do it. But I also wanted to share our high key bundle set that we just created. Again, we created this as volume 2, and you can see that we have a variety of new props that you can offer to your clients. And just to give you an idea, I mean, Rick, right here, you can see on this particular page, there's 13 different props here, okay? And if you were to go out and purchase these individually, you would pay a lot of money, okay? A lot more than what we're going to offer these for. Now, these are going to sell on eBay for between $24.95 and $29.95. What I'd like to do is offer them to anyone who's watching this video today for just $19.95. All right, and they're going to be a digital download, so you don't have to wait for them to be shipped to you in the mail. We've went ahead and did all the work for you. Basically went out, we purchased these, we shot these in our studio, and did all the cover-up layers for you, and all you need to do is just decide if you want to use these in your business, and I think you'll get a lot of use from them. But really, if you're not using props like this for your business, for babies, you really need to rethink that, because they are very, very popular, and a lot of people are using them right now. Now, if you're a club member and you're watching this, you know that you're going to get these for a discount if you're inside the club. So if you are a club member, just log in, go to the discount store, and you'll see them there. If you're not a club member, you still can get a discount and get them for just $19.95. And all you have to do is click the link below this video, and you'll have access to these instantly.
And as a little extra bonus, what I wanted to do is actually include this video in HD. This way you can download it to your computer. I get so many requests for people that want to download our lessons. And this is a great way for you to follow along. You can download it to your computer, you can download it to your iPad, your iPhone, whichever. And this way here you have a copy of this video. So this way here you can walk through it step by step. The other thing I'm going to do is include the image that I used. Okay, so this way here you can follow along with the exact same image and do it step by step. That a lot of times is very, very useful because a lot of people like to follow along with the exact same image that I'm using in the lesson. All right, so that's going to wrap up this video. And again, listen, if you want to try these and you don't know if they're right for you and you just want to take a chance on them, go ahead, download them, play with them. If you don't like them for whatever reason, just let me know and I'll refund you your money. Okay, we don't want you to have these if you're not going to use these. I mean, I'm going to take all the risk there for you because obviously you can download them and tell me you don't like them and then I'll give you your money back and you'll keep them anyway. I mean, I'm not going to be able to go to your house and delete them off your computer, right? So really, I just want you to be able to have access to these. I think you'll get a lot of use out of them. I know our first volume, volume 1, has been a huge hit and a huge success, and that's why we decided to do a full brand new set of these unique digital props. All right, so that's it. That's going to wrap up this lesson. I hope you got a lot out of it. I certainly enjoyed making it for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.